Before we start, I would like to set some boundaries and expectations for this channel because this channel is still forming and I'm not sure exactly where it will get us. For now, I would like to just create this content to help the beginner aquarists out, maybe show off some of my achievements that I'm very proud of. I don't see myself as a YouTuber. I am much more interested in just showing you the raw footage of work in progress. And also this fish room was not supposed to be here, the way it is set up. It's about 10 feet square area of our apartment. I don't have any extra room to store my stuff. Like I don't have a hardscape room. I don't have a special room to keep my supplies and all the medicine cabinet. Right next door is just our kitchen, so I will not crap it up and I will not upset my partner who is not really into fish keeping, so I need to be respectful. This is not an aquascaping gallery, this is not a fish shop, so if you see bits of mess from time to time, if you feel like the furniture isn't quite matching, just know that this room started out with just one tank, and at the time I thought it was just it. That was going to be my entire experience. And since I started adding more tanks, the room evolved sort of like everything else evolves. It was built up piece by piece. Very unlikely pieces of furniture were added. It sort of works the same way evolution does, which leaves us with certain stages of evolution that are still within us, like appendix or penguins having wings, that are the remnants of the past. But you will see here that I'm doing my best in building up this fish room, adding more tanks. I think I'm at capacity. I cannot add any more tanks. But at this point, the eclectic style of this fish room you see here is what you get. And I already start getting comments about the unkempt nature of my fish room. Again, this is not a salon of aquascaping. There will be mess. I'm going to get my room to the best state possible to show you where I can be in terms of tidiness, but it won't be as pristine as many of the professional aquascaping rooms are. I'm not interested in filtering my reality. I'm showing things the way they are, and what you see is what you get. And I do realize that for someone who subscribed to this channel to expect certain content, the disappointment might be a case, which means that they might expect me to change the way I run this channel. Just fair warning, it's not going to happen. I'm going to run things the way I do, except for certain feedback that you might give me that does help me. And I'm actually quite motivated to clean out this room a little bit more and make room for empty space, so to speak, so that it's not so cluttered. If I receive suggestions about making certain changes, for example, I prefer tanks with a SpongeBob house and pink gravel, I will not change my content to accommodate this sort of wish. So pretty obvious, but I thought it's fair to set boundaries and expectations. And I am open to your suggestions about what you would like to see more in this channel within the scope of what I'm interested in. I'm probably not going to show you terrariums because I'm not really into terrariums. Somehow having water feature adds magic. All right, so let's move on to the most recent project. I just moved these dwarf rasboras to this newly set up black water, very simple 5-gallon tank. It just has some inert substrate, driftwood, and floating plants. And that's probably the simplest setup you can think of if you would like to set up something for your fish really fast. I could add those fish pretty much on the second day. And it was only because I could use the sponge from another mature aquarium. And most of the plants are also loaded with beneficial bacteria. This tank I am about to dismantle. It's pretty sad. It's an end of an era. I built this tank by myself out of panels of glass used for 3D printing. My friend works for a 3D printing company, and they had these, they said, defective panels of glass, and I just made an aquarium out of them. Unfortunately, the pond style aquarium like this is not very compatible with tiny fish rooms because they protrude too much. And so, like, as you can see, this location for this tank is a little awkward here. So I'm going to move the shrimp probably to this cube, and I'm going to gift it to my neighbor down the hall. And that way I will have one tank less before my move. Seems like the riparium is working very well. I had a sick apistogramma. So this little guy, poor guy, had some things sticking out, part of the gut sticking out of his butt. So right now the protrusion is getting smaller. I gave him an Epsom bath, and he's moving around a little bit more, and I hope he will pull through. It does help to have given him this new pristine aquarium to recover in. Hopefully, I can show you soon how the rasboras are doing. They have been sick since I got them, and there's been something making them sick and die, and I have only 6 left. And I'm also going to take a look once I dismantle this one. I'm going to look under the hood, so to speak. My suspicion is that I added some more of that activated carbon to the substrate, and I think that tank was also set up in the same time the other one was. So right now I'm just going to strip all the tanks, I think, that have carbon in the substrate. And then next time I'm going to set up the substrate, it's going to be simpler, free of carbon and other suspicious substances that I thought would help. So simpler is better. The only additive I would consider now for the soil is clay. There's this red clay. Let me see if we can show you here. This kind of reddish clay granules that are really helpful in enriching the substrate. Supposedly the clay is like a magnet for the nutrients. It pulls all the nutrients into the soil. That helps the plant root find those nutrients better. Whereas the carbon pulls in all the chemical impurities, which is great, but over time it leaches back into the water once it cannot absorb more. So that was the problem that was causing all the sickness in my 32-gallon riparium here. So hopefully everybody is on the mend, and I hope the fish will enter a great new era in 2026, which is something I also wish for you.